Being a good girl is aging you faster than the sun. If you're scared of turning 30, sunscreen will not save you. I'm an engineer in my 30s and I was raised by a psychology expert. This video is not just vibes, it is scientific strategy. But I mean, it's also vibes. This is my skin 10 years ago and this is my skin today. If you want to age backwards, you don't need a new skincare routine. Every single time you act desperate for love, you're neglecting your own needs. In this video, I'll be breaking down the 5 mindset shifts I made to stop being a people pleaser and build core confidence. And by the end, you'll have the blueprint to glow from the inside out. But before we get to the blueprint, we have to talk about the real problem. The real reason why you keep acting like a people pleaser even when you want to stand up for yourself. You're missing this one key that will completely unlock your confidence. Self-worth. I know, that sounds harsh, but I've been there. I've been the girl bending over backwards trying to make everyone else happy. I was trying to prove to everyone else that I was worthy of love because on some level, I didn't believe that I was enough. And it was only when I could unapologetically put myself first that I could finally stop stressing out about what everyone else thought. And then my skin finally cleared up when I wasn't under chronic stress 24/7. And as a side effect, I actually lost weight too, so double win. Studies show that chronic psychological stress actually changes the biology of your skin. That's not just how it looks, it changes how your body functions on a cellular level. If your body is constantly in survival mode, your stress hormone cortisol will be through the roof. And when your brain is running on caffeine and cortisol, you're basically asking to be puffy and inflamed. Inflammation is the perfect recipe for wrinkles and breakouts. Elevated cortisol has been shown to break down collagen and elastin. That structural matrix that holds up your skin, keeping it tight, firm, and juicy, is deteriorated when you're under stress. If you want to lower your cortisol and stay youthful and beautiful well into your 30s, you have to learn how to regulate stress in your system. And the fastest way to do that is to stop caring about what other people think and get on with your glorious life. Your purpose and plan is way more important than the comment section in the peanut gallery. But most women are taught to play the good girl. You have to actively reprogram your mind to put yourself first. You have to cultivate an identity outside of what other people think of you. And that's the key to getting out of the chronic stress loop, knowing who you are regardless of what people think or say. If you've ever wondered how pale I am, this is the lightest shade foundation that Dior makes. You can wear SPF every day and still age faster than your friends if your cortisol is elevated every day trying to earn love. Okay, number next. No is a complete sentence. If you haven't learned yet how to stand up for yourself, you haven't understood what a boundary actually means. A boundary is not a rule you set for other people. It's a decision you make for yourself. It's a choice for what you will expect and allow into your life. And if you haven't yet cultivated a core identity, you're allowing other people to dictate your boundaries and push you around based on whatever the hell they want. Every time you feel that resistance and hurt in yourself, you have to take action to put armor and protect yourself from that. You have to stand up and say, I want something more for myself, instead of rolling over just because someone thought it was easy to hurt you. Entering your villain girl era is not about being a bitch. It's finally standing up and say, I deserve better. And you'll finally feel confident when you stop waiting around for Prince Charming to come and protect you, and you actually stand up for your own needs. Because even if you meet Mr. Right, he's not going to be around to defend you 24/7. You need to learn how to activate your own voice and use no. And while you're giving yourself a stress breakout, trying to make everyone else happy and allowing them to set boundaries for you, you're not just physically exhausted by running around like a chicken with its head cut off. Women don't look older because time is physically aging them faster. They look older because they're taking on the emotional needs of 10 different people acting as if they're a therapist. Because I'm a professional problem solver, I have friends come to me all the time with their emotional needs, trying to offload their problems onto me. But it is not my job to solve other people's problems. Stay on your paper. You're responsible for your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Everything else is out of your control and on someone else's paper. If a friend comes to you with a boy problem, with an emotional problem, or a family problem, you can be available to her, you can hear her, but you don't need to take on the emotional burden of actually solving it for her. And most of the time, people don't want you to solve their problems. They want to just be heard. If you ever want to take care of someone and you're not sure what exactly they're looking for you mid-rant session, ask them, do you want to be heard? Do you want me to help you, or do you want me to handle it? 90% of the time, this problem that they're yapping about is not something they even want you to solve. So you just have to smile and nod, get on with your life, and let them get it out of their system. The number one advice I wish I could give my younger self would be to mind your own business. Other people's opinions of you are not your problem to solve. What people think and feel about you is not your problem to solve. And any of their emotional baggage that they try to offload onto you is also not your problem to solve. You're making your life so much more complicated, thinking you need to do everything for everyone else just so they see your value. But the right people will see your value without you having to prove it. 10 years ago, when this picture was taken, I was in a horribly toxic relationship. I felt like I was never enough for this person. There was nothing I could do in order to make them see my value. There was no way I could act and show up in the world just so they believed I was the one. Other people's perception is completely out of your control. And the hardest lesson I have had to learn growing up, I have to accept and surrender to the fact that things are out of my control. You trying to be a people pleaser is actually a form of manipulation. You're trying to force your will on other people's free will. You're saying how I want you to act is more important than you want to be. And other people actively resent that. So while you're trying to people please, keeping everyone happy, they're actually resenting the fact that you're being controlling. And the worst part about being a people pleaser, it's not just other people who resent you. You start to resent yourself because you know that you deserve better. And resentment is the seed that kills all relationships. If you want to glow from the inside out, you have to stop the resentment in the most important relationship in your life, the relationship you have with yourself. Choosing to put your own needs first is the number one thing you need to do to get yourself out of survival mode. And that's the first thing you need to do in the Inner Glow Blueprint. I come first before anyone else. And good men know that. Number 2 in the Radiant Glow Blueprint is to build a core identity. Identity is primarily built through actions. It's how you show up in the world, how you prove to yourself who you are. You can do affirmations in the mirror, but your brain doesn't believe it until it actually sees proof in real life. So if you want to feel like a runner, you have to go out and run. If you want to pass your exams, you have to show up and study every day. And when you start doing those things, your brain starts to believe that they're part of who you are. So instead of forcing yourself to believe this new identity, just start stepping into her energy and show up as she would. Show up as a girl who doesn't need to ask for permission. Show up as a girl who is confident and knows her worth. And show up as a girl who walks into a room holding her head high. And this will feel like fake it till you make it, but that's just a stage you have to walk through. At one point, you will wake up and you realize that you have become the person you pretend to be. All of these vision boards are fun crafting activities, but all it is a visual aid. It helps you step into the energy and imagine yourself doing what's required to build your dream life. And if you're struggling and if you feel overwhelmed about becoming this dream version of yourself who has unshakable confidence, I want you to start small. Start with just one habit today and one small way that you can put yourself first. And if you get 1% better over time, you will be a completely different person in 6 months. And this next step will preserve your inner glow for years to come. You have to protect yourself from energy vampires. People that drain your energy, jobs that drain your glow. If you hate your job, it is actively taking years off your appearance. Last year, I was in a job that felt like jail. And every day it felt like I was clocking in for my worst nightmare. And everyone around me noticed a huge change in me the second I got a different job. Sometimes it's the man in your life who's dragging you down. Sometimes it's a friend who likes to gossip more than she supports you. And sometimes it's your day-to-day work that is leeching your energy. You have to plug a hole in that bucket. You have to finally stop letting all of your life force energy drain out of you. If you've been friends with an energy vampire since high school, but her favorite hobby is gossiping about you behind your back, it is time to break up. You don't need that extra social stress in your life. I promise you, better friends will come along if you give space for them to show up in your life. And yeah, making all these changes over the course of my 20s made me feel more confident, but they also made me happier. I don't wake up now wondering what Shannon from downstairs is gonna think about my dress. I wake up and I put on whatever makes me happy. I don't think about what I should do on a Sunday. I wake up and I ask myself, what would make me feel happy today? I don't ask myself what my mother thinks about my man. I ask myself, does he take care of me? Does he make me feel loved? And all of that took believing in myself, building trust in myself so that I can put myself first instead of outsourcing all of my personal needs. If you found this video helpful, please send this video to your friend who needs to learn how to stand up for themselves. If she's complaining about how she looks all the time, it's not a problem with her skincare routine, it's a problem with her self-esteem. And I'm here to give you the science and psychology to actually become her.